Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to you, and to you. I am Portia Wheatley. I am the founder and the president of a nonprofit organization acknowledged as Trophy of Life Incorporated, where we have the great privilege, the honor, and the assignment to render hope and encouragement and inspiration to you, our audience around the world. Let me bring in my co-host.
Hello, everyone. My name is Takira Swan, and I am so happy to be here with you today on this beautiful, beautiful Saturday. So you all know what I'm going to say. I want you to join our team. And the way you do that is to follow us on YouTube, like, share, subscribe. And that way you help us bring hope, encouragement, and inspiration to the entire world.
The entire world. And it feels so good doing it. So we want you to be a part of this team to take this message of hope, encouragement, and inspiration around the world. Today, as you know, school is either has started or is about to start on Monday for many students. And this is at the end of August. So, I think it was Monday as well as Friday, we had guests to share about either entering school, continuing school, returning to school, all about school. Guidance counselor, we talked about different things that went on in school with a guidance counselor, because our students, our children are very important to us. And we have to invest our time and resources and the information that we can share, whatever we have that we can pour into the next generation. I believe it is our responsibility to do just that. So on today, we're just going to have a time of sharing, just a brief conversation about students and being proud of who they are. Your children, be proud of who they are. Even though they may not achieve like you want them to, between prayer, investing in them, your time, showing them that you still love them, and really speaking to where they're going rather than to where they are. What you see now may not be something that's positive, but you continue to speak those positive words over their life, and you believe it and watch things change. So today, we're going to talk just briefly. Again, we're not going to hold you long. That's until our adrenaline start flowing. I mean, we don't know how long it might be, I tell you. But we want to, matter of fact, let me do this before we even begin to engage in conversation. I want to give a shout out to several past guests who have been on Saturdays, which is designated for the voice of the next generation, our young people, our youth, 30 years of age and under, all the way to, I think the youngest we've had was maybe 8 years old. You think, Takira?
I think about 8, yeah.
About 8 years old. And they actually were wonderful guests. And we're really glad that they took the time to come, as well as their parents allowed them and permitted them to come and share on Project 365. Well, we have some, and we're going to start with Marcus McClammy. He was our first guest, our very first guest, and this is back in January. And then, of course, we had Erin Wilson Tucker. We had Raquel, I think that's how you pronounce her name, Raquel. Let me just spell it. Riquele Harris. Marquez, you're not that, young, but you were on a, I don't think you count.
It's okay. He's a young adult.
But we're proud of you. Let's see. Azara McLemore, she's out of New York, just different. And these individuals were out of different states. Yeah. I think she went to school in North Carolina, but she's from New York. Mackenzie Adams Hunt, and they were some wonderful guests. I know their parents are proud of them, and so is Takira and myself. So very proud of them, because when you come on and you speak your truth and you speak your experience, you're speaking for many, many, many other young people in this world. We had Zion Robinson, Shamira Murphy, Madison Hamilton, let's see here. We had Donita or Donetta and the girls from Africa. Remember the
Yes.
group that we had United States young ladies, and we had Africa young ladies from Africa. So they were on at the same time. That was really interesting. Jonathan Harding, or shall I say Jonathan Smith? I think his last name was Smith. His mama's name is Harding. I don't care what her name is. Jonathan was good. Jonathan was on
He's a little man.
Yeah, he was good. He's a little man. He is. Let's see here. We had some wonderful guests. Madison Knowles, Elijah Dinston. Tagana had his young men on. Oh, wow. Autumn Tobias. Oh, wonderful guest, wonderful guest. Lauren Carr. Joshua Lane. We had a whole lot of guests. And we want you to know, first of all, we thank you for coming on and being our guest. And then we want to say that we're so proud of you. I know Takira was proud of them because she pretty much hosted those Saturdays. What were your collective thoughts on those Saturdays, Takira?
Well, the first thing I can think of is that everyone to me was like wise beyond their years, especially the little ones, because when you are hosting a broadcast and you're interviewing a younger person, you may think we just have to think, okay, oh, they're 8, but you don't want to limit their potential. But it's like I set the bar for I know they're going to be great, and then they just like blow my mind, and I'm like, what? Like, little girl, little boy, what are you doing? So that's one thing. They were so good, and they were so brave, and they had a lot of courage. And believe it or not, like I know that young people go through a lot that people don't realize. So I think it was very, very courageous for them to be honest with their experiences, where they were good or they were just, they're not so great. So I was really proud of that, because you have some adults who are not ready to speak about what they've been through, or even just to share their experiences and what they've learned. Some people just are not ready in that space, and that's fine. But it was so wonderful, and that was such a proud moment to see these young people voicing their opinions, speaking their mind. And I think that's so important for young people today, that you have to speak your mind. You cannot be quiet. No matter what your opinion is, I think it's your right to voice that. So seeing that these young people had a voice was the biggest takeaway that I had, and I loved it.
Definitely have to have a voice to actually speak your, like I say, speak your truth, speak what you're feeling. Nowadays, you better speak out. You really have to speak out. Otherwise, the world is going to put on you. School is going to put on you what they want you to do, what they want you to say, what they want you to, where they want you to go. But speak up and speak out and let them know that's not what my parent taught me. That's not what I believe. And that's what I am not going to do. And when they aggressively come at you, stand your ground. Stand your ground with your truth and what you know is right, what you know to be right, and what and even what Takira said about speaking up. Just speak up with respect. Speak to someone the way you would want to be spoken to. And it is amazing where that opportunity to speak out and speak up, where that will take you. I know there are children that just love to, what is that saying? They have the gift of gab. But there are times when if you channel that correctly, you channel that properly, that gift of gab can have you making some money off of being gabby. But I tell you what, I just believe that when students, children, just people know that someone is in their corner, and know that you are supporting them, and know that no matter what, I will get encouragement from so-and-so. I encourage you, our audience, and Takira and I, to be in a place where we can offer encouragement. And our focus today is on students that are beginning or returning to school. And we just want to have a positive word for them. You know, as an adult, it's always good to have a positive word. It's not going to always come from certain people, but when you give it to someone enough, they're going to, that root is going to take what? It's going to take,
yeah.
and you'll grow from it, and you will grow from it. But I tell you what, just be proud of your children. So today, what we want you to do is to find a picture. Find a picture of your son, your daughter, whether they're going to kindergarten, elementary, middle school, high, no matter where they're going, post a picture of them and say, I am proud of my son, my daughter.
Yeah. I
am proud of them. And if you would like, post it and say, well, so-and-so is going, John, LaQuisha is going to school to be a nurse. She's studying to be a doctor. He's studying to be a veterinarian. He's studying to, whatever they're studying, whatever they want to be, as they say, when you grow up, post it so that and matter of fact, and while you post it, we can be praying for them.
Yeah.
Definitely be praying for them. It's a positive thing. Project 365 is a project that is geared towards hope, encouragement, and inspiration. Whatever we bring to you, it could be the children, it could be middle school, it could be high school, it could be an adult, it could be a senior citizen. Whatever we bring to you is positive. It definitely is positive. So, Takira, you have your little niece? So you're gonna have.
I'm gonna have to post something. So if you don't have any children, if you have nieces, nephews, little cousins, we just want to post and spread positivity for young people, and that so other young people can see, oh, okay, they're not alone. Like, hey, this person's doing that. This person's doing that. So that's why we just want you to post and have some positive encouragement. And I just want to speak on one thing I just thought about with positive encouragement. We talked briefly, well, extensively before the beginning of the year about, your passions and your purpose. And I just want to encourage our adults or anyone who has any kind of influence on a young person or a young adult to go ahead and encourage them to pursue their passions. And let me just explain a little bit, because sometimes when we pursue our passion and we're not thinking out of the box, if it does not go our way, we get a little discouraged. And then you have to go through a whole path of discouragement and getting over that and understanding, in the world, you can't get everything you want. But guess what? You really can get everything you want. It may not be what you think it should look like, but you can get the things that you want in life. You have to work toward them, but you have to have a plan. And we talked about that. So a lot of times, for example, I see a lot of young men pursue their passion of sports. Like, oh, my son is great at football. My son is great at basketball. And their parents are pushing because they're going to go pro, right? Because that's a passion of theirs. But to go pro, not saying it's not impossible, it's very, very possible, but you have to work harder than like anybody to get there. And the pickings are so slim because there's only but so many spots on so many teams. So you have to think realistically with your children as well. But if your son's passion is football or baseball or basketball, what other passions does your child have? So I just want to encourage our parents and our caretakers of children to go ahead and encourage them to do other things as well. So such and such, little John, we always say Johnny, we gotta think of a different name. Johnny's passion is football, but he also likes fixing things. He also likes cars. He also likes science. He also likes engineering, things like that, so that you can still incorporate that passion of sports with another passion. That's why people have sports medicine. I have a lot of friends who are adults who make a lot of money doing what they love, in sports medicine. They love sports so much, but guess what? They can't play a sport. That's not for them. But they also love medicine, helping people, making people feel better. There are fields out there which combine multiple passions together and that you can study and go to school for and have big hobbies for, and you can do what you love. Because I always feel like the one of the goals in life is just to be happy and do something that you love. And whether they're in middle school, elementary school, I mean, you can see these things from a young age because we are who we are. All we do is we develop into becoming an adult. But who you were, Miss Portia, as a child, that child is still inside you. Some of the things you like, yeah, some of the things you liked when you were younger, you still like them now. So,
Yes.
I'm telling you, it all goes back to who God created us to be and who He wants
Abs-
us to be. Our experiences form who we're supposed to be. Our passions form us to what we're supposed to do. Our purpose. It's just our job to pay attention and to look at that, to unlock those possibilities for our youth. Does that make any sense? You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
just don't focus this on one thing, because if your child has a passion of sports or anything or movies, maybe they're not supposed to be the biggest, greatest singer or movie star. Maybe they are, but maybe they're supposed to be, the person who films the movie, the director, the screenwriter, the person they love music, they love movies, the person who writes the music for the movies. And honestly, any young people that are hearing me, a lot of people behind the scenes make way more money than the star of the show. I just want you to put that out there, because to make someone be a star of any genre, there are people who are in the background who make it happen, those go-getters, those doers. So you just don't limit yourself. That's all I'm saying. You just don't limit yourself, because that's how you get disappointed. You have to realize that you are such an amazing being just as you are, and the things that you love can
Yeah.
help you do things in life that are great, and just think outside the box. So,
And I think when you actually take notice of these things that your young people like to do, your children like to do, don't just, brush it off. Develop that thing that your children like to do. Again, it may be something that's different than what you like. Um, don't try to make them fit in the box. As you said,
mhm,
think outside of the box. I remember when well, growing up, I came from a strict Pentecostal background, and anybody know my son Spider, the drummer? He's like he lived life out loud. He lives life
mhm.
out loud. And when he was growing up, of course, he was banging on everything. I think I have a picture of him about 3 years old banging, and my ink pens exploded around the house. You taking utensils, banging on lids and pot lids and all of that. And of course, I didn't know at the time, he was going to be a drummer until we got him the first set, the little kid set, and he just busted it up. It was just a little kid set. But it took, when he got older, he began to enjoy music, uh,
Mhm.
all kinds of music. But me with my little boxed in thoughts, oh, you're not going to listen to secular music. You're just going to listen to gospel and hymns and all of that. It took someone else to tell me that he had a gift. He
Mhm.
had a gift. And to this day, he can play any type of music. He hears it and he can play with with whomever, and always been friendly. So he can fit into any category. But if I had kept him in that box,
Mhm.
he would have been a
Who
little
knows?
bit of nothing. So and parents, I encourage you,
Mhm.
do what needs to be done. And even if you have to, definitely invest in your child. Stop going to McDonald's. Stop eating out so much. Take that money and invest in your children.
Yeah.
Invest in them. Be determined that they're going to be more than you have ever been. They will experience more than you have ever experienced. It works. It works. And of course, God will lead and direct you. They
Mhm.
may go a little wayward every now and then, but you've already put in them, you already deposited in them what is right, and they'll come back. they will come back. So don't forget, parents. Oh, I know the grandparents are going to want to post their grandchildren. So this is your opportunity. Post a picture of your grandchildren, your godchildren. Just make sure the parents have permission from their parents.
Yes.
Parents, of course, um, post those pictures. Post those pictures. Let them know you are proud of them. Middle school, high school, kindergarten, they can achieve, they can outdo even what you thought they could do. They
Yes.
probably could. Give them the opportunity, give them the leeway to actually say, Mom, I want to do this. Dad, I want to try this. That, you know, so that's our presentation to you today, because there is hope, encouragement, and inspiration in you getting those words out of your mouth to tell your children, sweetheart. Well, teenage boys not going to want you to call him sweetheart. Man, man, I know you can do this. I know you can do this. I know you can achieve and accomplish. So we want to encourage you to, and let me go back for a moment. Even if you've never had that level of encouragement in your life from your
Yeah.
parents, adults, this is a good time to start. This is a good, that which has happened in the past, let it stop there in that generation. You start a new tradition. You start a new way of thinking. You start a new way of depositing in your children to let them know, I believe in you. I have faith in you. I believe that you can do this. So, yeah,
And
I do. I really do.
I think when you just really sit back and think that, you know what, my life can be whatever I want it to be, and my children's life can be whatever they want it to be. When parents, adults, when you take yourself out of the box that you put yourself in, it's never too late. I don't care if your child is 23, okay? It doesn't matter. You can start changing your thinking, start breaking those generational curses. Whatever, like she said, whatever happened in the past, it died in the past. It's over. You can't go back there. So let's start from where we are today and move forward with that encouragement, that positivity. And I believe if you look back at one of our broadcasts before, I told you, I listed some people who really were very successful and changed the world as we know it, with products, with their ideas, with their movements that they've done, and they were all older. So it's not too late if your child is 16 and you feel like they've lost their way. It's not too late if they're 12, they're 8, they're 30, 20. It does not matter. It's not even too late for you. I'm telling you, most of the billionaires out there did not become billionaires. Well, no one became billionaires overnight, for real. But it all happened when they were like 40 and above. So you cannot limit yourself or your child and say, oh, it's too late. And if they're in college or they're graduating high school, they didn't do so good in school, it doesn't matter. So what? You got bad grades, it's so what? Start over. Everyone doesn't learn the same. And we all know that our society, the way school is, it's really not shaped for everyone to learn in the best way that they can possible. It's like we have a certain way that we do things, and everyone doesn't fit in that box of learning. So just pay attention to your children, see what they love, step outside that box, and help your child or your teen or young adult learn the best way they can, because you never stop learning. You never stop learning. And I always encourage people to learn something new each week. Learn something new each week, especially with the age of Google and the internet. I Google, I'm a millennial. We Google everything. I learn something new all the time, how to fix something, how to paint something, how to cook something. Just learn something new, something fun. And take yourself out that box, parents, because when you do that, I'm telling you, even if your kids are older, they still watch you. Okay. You are still the example. And when they see that, oh, they're changing their mindset, look how their life is changing. Let me do the same thing. You just have to remember, nothing is impossible. You control that.
That's right. Nothing is impossible. And I just happened to glance at our Facebook page, and I see Corey Jones' name. He's a great example of a parent who encourages their children. He and Rebecca Yes, and they
It's
have come
awesome.
through and experiences, whether it at the parent level or at their children's level. And some of these stories that these young people have, I would love to have you come and present on Project 365, because I always say there is a difference between someone that can share a message out of head knowledge, or
Mhm.
those that share a message out of experience. When you can experience something, doesn't make good, bad, or indifferent. When you can experience something and then be able to share it, be bold to share it, be glad to share it. We're not so happy that it happened, but it happened for a reason that you can, once you have learned the lesson, you can turn around and let someone else know that God brought me through this. My parents helped me through this. My godparents helped me through this. My grandparents helped me through this. My brother, my sister, whoever helped me through this. And if I can go through it, you can go through it and still be a success.
Yeah.
That's my message for today. Woo! I enjoy, Takira and I enjoy encouraging people. We do.
Yeah, we do.
It's just, it is what it is. And, we don't have an apology for it. It's just a God thing. So you do you, I'll do me, and God has given it to us. So let's do what we do. Okay. I love you, which is our Project 365 audience, where we have the opportunity to bring hope, encouragement, and inspiration to you, our audience. We thank you for being a part of our team. Don't forget, go to our YouTube channel, Portia Wheatley /Trophy of Life, to subscribe. We want you to subscribe, share, tag, comment, however we can get the word out. You are part of the team. Don't forget, come on, get those pictures rolling in. Get those
Yes.
pictures rolling in. Post those pictures with a comment of whether it is what your child is studying, or just a good job. You can do this. And just know that every post, every picture that is posted, we are praying for them. All right.
Yes, we
God
are.
bless you. We love you. Meet us here tomorrow at 1 p.m. for corporate worship. All right. Have a great day. Have a great one, Takira.
Bye, you too.